Welcome to The Explainer. We're jumping straight into it today to figure out if KTM's massively hyped 2026 990 RCR actually lives up to all that buzz we've been hearing for the past year. We're going to really look at the numbers, the tech, and the pricing to see exactly what this machine brings to the table.
You know, for years, rising costs and those extreme, uncompromising ergonomics made it seem like the middleweight supersport segment was just dying out entirely. The market shifted, right? And riders naturally started looking elsewhere for their speed fix.
Actually, it's been since 2015, back when the RC8R was officially discontinued, that KTM last gave us a fully fared, street-legal sport bike. That makes this return to the segment a completely massive deal for American riders. We've literally been waiting for over a decade for this.
So, here's our agenda for today. We'll hit 1. The Supersport returns. 2. Heart of the Beast. 3. MotoGP tech built in. 4. Pricing and packages. And finally, 5. The final verdict.
Starting right off with Section 1, the Supersport returns, ending the 11-year wait.
KTM has been teasing the 990 RCR for over a year now, and they positioned it very deliberately. This is designed to be an aggressive yet totally usable machine that balances real-world street riding with true track-ready performance. It's aiming to fix the mistakes of that old-school Supersport formula by, well, actually being rideable on public roads, but without sacrificing its racing soul.
Let's move to Section 2, Heart of the Beast, the LC8C Parallel Twin.
Getting into the actual specs, the RCR takes the 947cc liquid-cooled parallel twin engine, originally found in the 990 Duke. But KTM didn't just drop it in unchanged, they optimized it. We're talking model-specific ECU mapping, a brand new subframe integrated airbox, and a very compact stainless steel exhaust system. All of this meticulous engineering punches out a seriously impressive 128 claimed horsepower at 11,000 RPM and 76 pound-feet of torque at 8,750 RPM.
Now, when you contrast that 128 horsepower against its 430-pound wet weight, you get a power-to-weight ratio that is just genuinely thrilling for the street. It gives you plenty of punch without being completely overwhelming.
And this next bit brilliantly illustrates KTM's famous ready-to-race ethos, especially for you track day riders out there. The 6-speed transmission allows you to switch from a standard shift pattern to a GP shift pattern simply by inverting the shift linkage. You can do this right in your garage without having to buy a single extra part. Honestly, that's kind of a miracle in today's motorcycle market.
Section 3, MotoGP tech built in, from track to street.
So, those fairings, they aren't just for styling. KTM actually utilized factory race data to design aerodynamic winglets that generate real downforce, keeping that front tire firmly planted at speed. Plus, there's this really unique belly-mounted aero deflector sitting just in front of the rear wheel. KTM specifically engineered this to stabilize the bike's rear end under hard, heavy braking. That is literally true track tech on the street.
Up top, the rider cockpit features a massive 8.8-inch TFT dashboard. This is currently the largest and most feature-rich display in the entire Supersport class. It gives you incredible visibility over all the bike's electronic systems.
To rein all this momentum in, KTM bolted on absolute world-class braking hardware. We are talking 320mm floating front discs clamped by Brembo high-pure radial calipers, all controlled by an adjustable Brembo MCS master cylinder. And then you have these incredibly thoughtful details, like factory frame sliders attached directly to a steel bar on the main skeleton, and rear seats that are completely adjustable between street and track positions so you can dial in highly personalized ergonomics.
All right, Section 4, Pricing and Packages, slicing up the options.
You basically have a stark choice to make here. The fully street-legal base model starts at a highly competitive $13,949. But on the other hand, the $16,499 track version strips away the road gear entirely. In exchange, you get race bodywork, a full Akrapovic exhaust, revised gearbox ratios, and track-tuned electronics for pure, closed-course domination.
However, if you do stick with the street-legal base model, you absolutely need to be aware of the add-on structure. Surprisingly, unlocking the advanced IMU-supported traction control software requires an extra $900 for the Tech Pack bundle. A seamless quick shifter is another $350 on top of that, and highway cruise control will run you $280.
Looking at the competitive landscape, KTM positions itself aggressively right in the middle of the pack. It's slightly more expensive than the Yamaha YZF-R9, sure, but it notably undercuts the Ducati Panigale V2 by over $2,000.
And when we match that price tag against performance, well, the KTM's 128 horsepower bridges the market gap perfectly. It sits squarely between the Yamaha's 120 horsepower and the Ducati's massive 155 horsepower output. It really offers a highly usable middle ground for the vast majority of riders out there.
Which brings us to Section 5, the final verdict, pros, cons, and true value.
So putting it all on the table side by side, we really have to weigh this bike's premium, track-ready hardware against its physical weight and, well, those digital paywalls.
Ultimately, the pros represent incredible overall value. KTM is giving you a generous 4-year premium manufacturer warranty that covers the 2025 onward street range. You get adjustable ergonomics right out of the box, standard frame sliders, and an engine with genuine character, something that the old-school Supersport formula often completely lacked.
Yet, we can't just ignore the hidden costs. It's super frustrating for a lot of riders that features like the quick shifter and cruise control aren't included in that base price. Plus, there is the unknown long-term reliability of this entirely new platform and, of course, the requirement to always run premium fuel.
Which leaves us with this final, somewhat provocative thought to consider. For a motorcycle aiming to completely dominate the middleweight category and steal riders away from its Italian rivals, should KTM have just swallowed the cost and included that $900 tech pack in the base price to make it the undisputed king of value? What do you guys think? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep analyzing the data, and I'll see you next time.